The Sony a6400 is one of the most popular mirrorless camera from Sony. I have been using this Sony a6400 for last 2 years. And in today's video, I'll give you a direct answer that should you consider buying this camera in 2024 or not. So let's jump into it. I would like to start this video by talking about the build quality of this camera. The Sony a6400 is a pretty well built camera. The material they use to build the camera is magnesium alloy, which feels pretty nice as compared to some camera brands makes their camera by using plastics. However, one problem I faced with the Sony a6400, because of its a mirrorless system, and maybe that's why the grip of this camera isn't that much satisfying. Means this grip of this camera isn't that much deep. So if you are planning to shoot for all day long, that can bother you. But you can easily solve this problem by attaching an external grip you'll find in Amazon or any online shop. So by using those kind of stuff, you can easily solve this problem. Otherwise, this camera is pretty rock solid build. I have no issue using this camera for the last 2 years. Let's talk about the most important things of a camera is the camera sensor. The Sony a6400 comes with 24.1 megapixel APS-C CMOS sensor. The camera sensor is 1.5 times cropped as compared to a full frame camera sensor. Because of its 24.2 megapixel camera sensor, that's why if you want to print out your images, then definitely you can. So this camera can shoot up to 11 fps. That means if you want to shoot some really high moving or high speed moving object, then you will able to capture those images using this camera. Also, this camera can shoot JPEG file format and also in RAW file format. And also you can shoot JPEG and RAW at the same time. But one thing you need to consider that if you are planning to shoot JPEG and RAW at the same time, that will consume more amount of space of your memory card. So that is what you need to consider if you want to shoot JPEG and RAW at the same time. That means if you want more flexibility with your images, then definitely you have an option to play with your RAW photo. But if you don't want those kind of extra bugs or extra hassle, then definitely you can shoot at JPEG. And also the quality of JPEG you're getting out from this camera is also pretty good. One more thing you need to consider that if you shoot at JPEG and RAW at the same time, that will consume more amount of space of your memory card. Okay. Let's talk about the videography capability of this camera. This camera can shoot up to 4K at 30 fps as well as you can shoot at 4K 24 fps. The 4K quality of this camera is really sharp. Also, the autofocus system of this camera works pretty well during shooting at 4K. It doesn't lose autofocus at all as like Canon M50 does. This camera can also shoot at 60 fps and 120 fps at 1080p settings. The result is pretty good, but honestly I haven't used the 120 fps that much with my camera. But how much I see on others reviews, the video quality or the slow motion quality of this camera is really good. So there's no complaint about it. Also, this camera can shoot at S-Log3, SKIMF3 Cine or SLG2. If you don't know that what they are like flat profile picture settings that will give you more amount of high dynamic range as compared to a regular picture profile gives you. So yeah, if you want to color get your own, then those kind of options you have. But one problem is these footages are 8-bit, not 10-bit. So you will not able to play as much as you can with a 10-bit footages. But yes, then again, the footage you are getting out from this camera is good, not bad at all. Okay, it's time to share with you the cons of this camera. So this camera has couples of cons and no camera is perfect out there. The very first drawback of this camera is the battery life. If you are planning to buy this camera, then I'll suggest you please buy extra 2 batteries with your setup, because of the battery life of this camera sucks. One more cons of this camera is not having audio output jack. That means if you want to monitor your audios while you're shooting, you can't do that because of this camera body doesn't come with any audio output jack. So you can't plug in any headphones to monitor your audio. So that's a really big drawback for me. I can't monitor my audio when I'm shooting it. And if this audio sucks, then I need to shoot this video once again. And that's happened with me for countless of times. So that's a really big drawback as my opinion. And the most biggest cons of this camera is the rolling shutter issue. It's just crazy bad. But what is rolling shutter issue? Suppose you're shooting with your camera, you're just panning your camera to taking your shots. So when you are moving your camera, your footages will look like that instead looking like that, and that actually makes the face of subject look like a jelly. That doesn't look good by any means. That's crazy bad. So that's the major drawback of this camera. Overall, this is a really good camera, and definitely you can consider buying this camera in 2024. Really recommended camera. Thank you so much for watching till the end. See you in the next one.